The cornfield exploded without warning. A wall of green stalks shook violently, then split apart as a massive wild boar burst through, mud flying from its hooves. Its tusks flashed in the early morning light, sharp enough to tear through flesh and metal alike. For one frozen second, no one moved. Then the shouting began. This was Cedar County, Iowa, land meant for harvest, not survival. Just days before the crops were ready, wild hogs had turned fertile farmland into churned wasteland. Entire rows of corn lay flattened, roots ripped from the soil like scars carved into the earth. For farmers here, this wasn't wildlife. It was war. Jake Larson stood at the edge of the field, rifle tight against his shoulder. A third-generation farmer, he'd watched these fields feed his family for decades. Now he watched them disappear overnight. The losses weren't theoretical. Every destroyed acre meant missed payments, shrinking margins, and another family pushed closer to the edge. Behind him, his team waited in silence. Mike checked the wind. Sarah scanned the corn rows. Tom adjusted his grip. And Ethan, new, nervous, and determined, swallowed hard. At their feet, 3 hunting dogs strained against their leashes, noses low, muscles coiled. They could smell the hogs. So could Jake. Wild boars weren't supposed to be here in these numbers. Introduced centuries ago, they multiplied fast, learned faster, and adapted better than anyone expected. With no natural predators, their population exploded. A single sound could destroy an entire field in one night. Iowa farmers were losing millions every year, and the numbers kept climbing. Jake raised his hand. The signal was clear. Spread out. Stay low. Don't rush. The dogs were released first. Their barking cut through the quiet, sharp and urgent. The cornfield became a maze. Narrow paths, blind corners, danger hidden behind every stalk. Then it happened again. A deep grunt, heavy movement, too close. The boar charged. Sarah barely had time to step back as the animal surged forward, pure muscle and rage. Jake fired once. The shot cracked through the air. The boar collapsed hard, skidding to the dirt, but the silence didn't return. Instead, the ground began to move. From deeper in the field came the sound every hunter fears. Multiple bodies, multiple directions, an entire sound move. Jake didn't smile. This wasn't over. It was just beginning. Night falls fast over Cedar County. What was once a quiet cornfield now feels alive with unseen movement. Jake knows this is the most dangerous hour. Wild hogs are nocturnal, aggressive, and unpredictable when darkness gives them cover. The dogs strain at their leads, noses low, reading the ground like a map written in scent. Every snap stalk tells a story. Every overturned patch of soil is proof the fight is far from over. Jake signals the team forward. Flashlights stay off. Moonlight is enough. In the distance, the low grunts of hogs echo through the rows, deep and guttural. These animals aren't running anymore. They're feeding, confident, aware that the field belongs to them after sunset. Mike feels his pulse quicken. Sarah adjusts her grip. Ethan swallows hard, realizing this is nothing like the shooting range. Suddenly the dogs freeze. Buck's ears snap forward. Scout growls low. Then it happens. A massive shadow surges through the corn, fast and silent. The ground trembles as a boar charges, tusks flashing white for a split second. Sarah drops to one knee, breath controlled, heart racing. Jake whispers one word. Now. The shot cracks a night. The boar stumbles but doesn't fall. It veers hard, crashing past the team, missing Ethan by inches. Fear hits him like a wave, but training takes over. He steadies, fires, and the boar collapses in the dirt. Silence follows, thick and heavy. Ethan exhales. He's crossed the line. There's no turning back now. But the noise has done its damage. From deeper in the field, multiple shapes scatter. A whole sounder breaks cover, sprinting toward the creek. Jake knows if they reach the woods, the hunt becomes chaos. He pushes forward, boots pounding, dogs unleashed. The chase is brutal. Mud sucks at their legs. Branches whip faces. Breath burns in cold lungs. At the creek bank, the team regroups. 3 hogs down. Several escaped. Enough damage done to save this field, but not enough to end the war. Jake looks out over the torn land, moonlight revealing destruction that took months to grow and minutes to destroy. This is why they hunt. Not for sport, not for trophies, but because doing nothing costs even more. Across America, scenes like this repeat every night. From Iowa to Mississippi, from California to Louisiana, wild populations push closer to human life. Storms, floods, and shrinking habitats drive animals into farms and towns. Farmers adapt or lose everything. Hunters become protectors. Communities learn that survival means action. As dawn approaches, Jake's team loads their gear in silence. They're exhausted, bruised, shaken, but the corn still stands. The fields will make another season. And tomorrow night, somewhere else, another farmer will hear the same sounds in the dark and face the same choice. The sun rises slow and unforgiving. Morning light exposes what darkness tried to hide. Deep trenches cut through the soil. Corn stalks snapped at the base. Hoof prints press so hard into the mud, they look carved. Jake stands still, scanning the field, counting losses in silence. This is a part no one filmed. The aftermath. The quiet cost of survival. News travels fast in farming communities. By midday, calls pour in. Another field hit near the river. A family outside town trapped hogs overnight, but lost half their fencing. Storms upriver pushed wildlife down again. Pressure is building. When land disappears, conflict begins. Not out of hate, but necessity. Jake's team meets again before dusk, this time joined by 2 neighboring farmers. No bravado, no excitement, just purpose. Plans are drawn in dirt. Escape routes marked. Dogs rotated to avoid exhaustion. Every move is calculated because mistakes here don't mean lost views. They mean injuries or worse. As night falls, the air changes. Wind carries unfamiliar scents. The hogs are smarter now. They circle. They test. One false move and the trap will fail. Hours pass. Then movement. Shadows slip through the tree line. Larger than before. Hungrier. The first trap slams shut. Metal screams. Chaos erupts. Hogs scatter in every direction. One charges straight at the line. Tom fires. Mississippi. The animal closes a distance in seconds. Jake steps forward, steadying the pressure, and fires once. The boar drops less than 10 feet away. No cheering, just breathing. By dawn, 7 more are down, enough to relieve pressure. enough to buy time. But everyone knows the truth. This is control, not victory. Across the country, similar battles unfold. In Mississippi, floods erase boundaries between wild and human land overnight. In California, drought pushes animals toward irrigated crops like magnets. In Louisiana, rising waters bring predators into backyards. Nature doesn't negotiate. It adapts. Wildlife agencies struggle to keep pace. Regulations exist, but landowners often act first because delay costs livelihoods. Technology helps. Drones, tracking collars reinforce traps, but nothing replaces experience. Animals learn. Humans must learn faster. There's a misconception that hunters enjoy this, that they chase chaos for thrill. The reality is heavier. Every trigger pull carries responsibility. Ethical shots, controlled actions, no waste, no recklessness. Because once control is lost, everyone pays. Jake loads the last gear into his truck as the sky turns pale blue. Another night survived. Another season protected. For now, he knows next year will be harder. Populations grow faster than solutions. Weather grows more extreme. Space grows smaller. But quitting is an option, because behind every field is a family. Behind every hunt is a future. And behind every difficult choice is a simple truth that coexistence sometimes means standing your ground. The land doesn't belong to the strongest. It belongs to those willing to protect it. And tonight, the fight will begin again.